Mr. Speaker, I want to talk about, quote, Biden's 30-day humanitarian deadline. The Biden administration has continued to ignore reports from its own experts, international human rights organizations, and the United Nations that the Israeli government is blocking humanitarian aid into Gaza in violation of U.S. and international law. ProPublica has published a detailed account of how the U.S. State Department submitted report after report to Congress that contradicted the findings of the department's own experts and those of other agencies. The Israeli government is using starvation as a weapon of war. Look at this picture. It is evident that blocking U.S. humanitarian aid is clear that it's happening and that it is a blatant violation of Section 220I of the Foreign Assistance Act. In a letter to the Israeli government on October 13, Secretary Blinken acknowledged that the Israeli government is violating U.S. law by blocking aid and gave them 30 days to comply. The letter demanded 350 trucks to be allowed into Gaza per day. And guess what? According to Israel's own data and own government, only 57 trucks were allowed into Gaza per day in October, if that's even true. And this is the lowest amount of aid into Gaza in a year. On November 1st, top United Nations officials said the entire Palestinian population in northern Gaza is in an imminent risk of dying from disease, famine, and violence. This week, Mr. Speaker, Secretary Blinken exposed his lie by announcing that there will be no change to any policy despite admitting that the Israeli government has still failed to comply with all of their demands. Secretary Blinken has continued to lie to Congress and should resign. U.S. law is very clear. No nation blocking U.S. humanitarian assistance can receive U.S. weapons. The Biden administration cannot pick and choose when they comply with our own laws. Children are forced to eat pet food and bug-infested flour. Look at this and do not turn your back on, again, being complicit to this war crime. But Blinken says there's no need to change our own policy. Shameful. I yield.